The crying echoed through the refugee dome like a siren. High-pitched, rhythmic, and relentless, it cut through layers of reinforced alloy and synthetic atmosphere, burrowing straight into the nerves of every being inside. The sound wasn't just noise, it was distress encoded in alien biology, a signal meant to summon help. But help wasn't coming. The baby lay in a hovering cradle, its small, translucent limbs trembling, its skin shifting through frantic shades of blue and violet. The species, Lyrathi, communicated emotion through bioluminescence. And this infant was screaming in light. The alien woman hovering beside the cradle looked exhausted beyond words. Her 4 eyes were dull, her frilled mantle drooping as she rocked the cradle back and forth with practiced desperation. "I've tried everything," she whispered in broken galactic common. Temperature modulation, nutrient mist, harmonic resonance. Nothing works. Around her, medics from half a dozen species stood helplessly. Sensors showed no illness, no injury. The infant was healthy, but it would not stop crying. Human Staff Sergeant Daniel Mercer stood near the entrance of the dome, helmet tucked under his arm, unsure why he was even there. Earth's forces had been deployed as peacekeepers after the collapse of the border colonies. Refugees poured in daily, thousands of species, cultures, and problems humans barely understood. Babies weren't part of his training, yet his eyes kept drifting back to the cradle. The crying wasn't aggressive. It wasn't fear, exactly. It sounded lonely. Middle. The Lyrathi woman noticed him staring. "You," she said suddenly, her voice sharp with exhaustion. "Human." Daniel straightened. "Yes, ma'am? You're a soldier?" "Unfortunately." She studied him, then gestured helplessly toward the cradle. "My child will not calm. The healers say nothing is wrong, but she has not slept in 2 cycles. Daniel hesitated. "I'm not sure what you expect me to do." "You are mammals," she said quietly. "Your young require physical reassurance, yes?" "That's generally true." Her crest flickered with a dim pulse of hope. "Then try." The room went silent. Medics exchanged uncertain glances. A few alien observers bristled. Humans touching alien infants was unheard of. Potentially dangerous. Daniel swallowed. "Are you sure?" "I have no other options," she said. "And if she continues like this, her neural development may suffer." He approached the cradle slowly. Up close, the baby was smaller than he'd expected, fragile, luminous, her cries causing ripples of color across her skin. As he leaned in, her crying intensified, lights flashing erratically. "Easy," he murmured without thinking. "Hey there. It's okay." The words weren't translated. They didn't need to be. Daniel gently slipped his gloved hands under the infant and lifted her from the cradle. Several medics shouted warnings. But the moment the baby felt contact, something changed. Her cries faltered. Her skin dimmed from frantic violet to a soft, curious teal. Daniel froze, barely breathing. "That's not possible," one medic whispered. He cradled the infant against his chest, instinctively adjusting his grip, supporting her head, rocking slightly. He felt foolish, thousands of light years from Earth, holding an alien child like he'd seen his sister hold her newborn back home. He hummed, not a song, just a low, rhythmic vibration. The baby's crying stopped completely. Silence filled the dome. The infant's bioluminescence settled into a warm, steady glow. Her tiny fingers curled around the fabric of Daniel's uniform, gripping it with surprising strength. The alien mother stared, crest flaring with shock. "What did you do?" she asked. "I held her," Daniel said softly. "Like this." He gently bounced the baby once, twice. A sound emerged from her throat, not a cry, but something lighter. Laughter. The room erupted into stunned murmurs. Middle, deeper conflict. Word spread fast. Within hours, representatives from multiple species arrived to witness what they called the human anomaly. Scientists ran scans. Psychologists debated theories. Cultural analysts argued semantics. Daniel just stood there, awkwardly holding the baby while everyone lost their minds. She is responding to his presence, one Lyrathai elder said. Not merely touch, his emotional state is influencing her biofield. That's impossible, replied a crushed neurologist. No species can externally regulate Lyrathai neural rhythms. Except humans, someone muttered. The mother, her name was Evelyn, approached Daniel cautiously. My daughter's name is Viral, she said. She has not been calm since we fled our world. Daniel looked down at the infant. Hey, Viral. The baby's glow brightened. Esaelin's eyes filled with tears. She recognizes you. I think, Daniel said carefully. She's responding to something familiar. What could be familiar about you? Esaelin asked. He hesitated. Loss. The room quieted. Human infants, Daniel continued, they're not born fully ready. They depend on touch, voice, warmth. We evolved that way because our worlds were harsh. Being held meant survival. He gently adjusted Viral's position. Maybe she's missing that. The realization shook the observers. The Lyrathai had advanced technology, perfect environmental control, but their culture emphasized early independence. Infants were monitored, stabilized, but rarely held for long. Your child doesn't need fixing, Daniel said gently. She needs comfort. The implications were staggering. If humans could soothe alien infants simply by being human, then human emotional biology wasn't a weakness. It was a universal bridge. Ending. Over the next few days, the refugee dome changed. Humans were invited, carefully, to assist with childcare across species. Crying infants calmed. Stress indicators dropped. Developmental metrics improved. Esaelin watched it all in disbelief. You did not just help my child, she said to Daniel one evening. You changed how we understand nurturing. I just did what felt right, he replied. Viral slept peacefully in her cradle nearby, one tiny hand still gripping a strip of human fabric Daniel had left behind. Before he was reassigned, Esaelin stopped him at the dome's exit. There will be councils, she said. Debates. Fear. About a baby? Daniel asked. About humans, she replied. You soothe what others cannot. You bond where others control. She bowed her head, a rare gesture among her people. My daughter will know your species as protectors, she said. Not conquerors. Daniel nodded, throat tight. As he walked away, he heard a soft, happy sound behind him. Not crying. Laughter. Across the galaxy, analysts would later struggle to explain the shift. Why alliances softened. Why negotiations opened. Why ancient species reconsidered their understanding of strength. The answer wasn't found in weapons or warships. It was found in a refugee dome, where an alien baby wouldn't stop crying until a human stepped in.